Yeah, hi. Thank you for coming. I'm Ricky, and this is my very first VidCon, and I'm working for it, so if I fumble, feel free to laugh at me, but wait until my back is turned so I can't hear it. Okay, so, obviously you're here because I'm doing a closed captioning thing, you know, because there's a lot of videos on YouTube, obviously, but not a whole lot of them are very accessible to people who are deaf and hard of hearing. And just, you know, before we get into all the technical stuff, we're just going to talk about me a little bit and deaf and hard of hearing people in general. So, obviously, you know, my name is Ricky by now, and let's see, I've been on YouTube for about 5 years now. For the first 4 years, I was strictly like a makeup guru. And last year, I got bored of that, and you know, you get bored of the thing that you're doing on YouTube, but you don't want to leave YouTube, but you can't really figure out exactly what you want to do. And this was around September last year, and as it turns out, and I'm like a very bad deaf person for not knowing this, but at the end of September, there's Deaf Awareness Week, and when I was trying to figure out ideas for, you know, where to take YouTube in general, I'm thinking, well, it's Deaf Awareness Week, so let's try to do a video. And obviously, when it comes to deaf and hard of hearing people on the internet, obviously the world is a majority of hearing people. So not a whole lot of people are gonna like really care. Maybe not to be mean, but like they just don't know. And so if you've heard of Francesca Ramsey on YouTube, I contacted her, and we were kind of buddies, and I thought, hey, I'm thinking about possibly doing a video for Deaf Awareness Week. Obviously, I'm a very small YouTuber, so I might need a little bit of help. You obviously care about something, like she talks a lot about racism and stuff on YouTube. And, you know, I want to talk about this, and I'm thinking, can we work together a little bit as far as, like, you sharing what I have to say just to try to get it out there a little? Because me, by myself, people probably aren't going to care about that as much. So she agreed, and I made a 20-minute video that was a little bit of like the basics of deaf people. And she ended up sharing that. It kind of went viral. It's about 50,000 right now, which if you're a very smart YouTuber, it's pretty much viral. And so Huffington Post picked it up, and since then I've been on like ABC News, BBC, whatever. And then I decided to make, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say this because it's a swear word, but the things hearing people say video, which ended up getting at this point about 310,000 views because it got on Reddit. So that went viral, and basically I'm here. I contacted Hank Green to see if maybe we could do like a disability panel or something, and he responded. Miracle moment. And he's like, yeah, let's do it. And I'm here, you're here, and if I can hug you all right now, we can do that at the end of this. So, here we are. So like I said, I'm going to talk a little bit about like deafness in general before we get into all the technical stuff. Because before you want to get to the technical stuff, you want to know a little bit about why you need to do it. So, as far as I know, there's about 38 million people who are deaf and hard of hearing in the United States alone. And if you're a creator and you look at that number, that's a lot of people. Obviously, you might not get all 38 million of us because we're either really old or babies, but just still, it's a lot of people that you could potentially have on your channel watching it. The issue is, I have talked to a couple of big creators before, and this answer is not like word for word from them, but they say something like, well, I don't think there's going to be a lot of deaf and hard of hearing people that, you know, watch my channel, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, well, if you don't have the product, how are we supposed to come over to view your product? If you have it, then we're going to come, you know, to you. So, there's that. And one of the biggest things that you need to know is deafness is not like one size fits all. It's not like, here's a t-shirt, it's gonna fit everybody. So like myself, I guess technically hard of hearing, but some days you're not gonna understand somebody, and some days you might understand somebody. Like my friend Dominique over there, we're both deaf. And like, her level of deafness might be different than mine. Somebody might be completely profoundly deaf, and some people might be only deaf in one ear, half of one ear. It's gonna differ. And like I have in what we understand now, we might not understand later. My boyfriend knows this, but he can say one sentence, I'll understand him, and then the next sentence that he said directly after that, I'm gonna be like, huh? Like, I guarantee you, at least if 5 people come up to me when this is over, I'll probably understand every other word, every other sentence. Oh well. The one thing is that you just, you have to understand. What, you can't tell somebody, well, you understood me yesterday, how are you not understanding me today? Won't work. Sorry. Okay, so like I said, deafness is not one size fits all, and there's about like 3 categories, I guess you would say. Like there's deaf, and then there's like 3 little things. You have little d deaf, which is basically like you're deaf and that's it. And that basically means like this was me for a while, and I got deaf because of a relative. These deaf people mostly are like, they don't really know sign language. They're like oral deaf people. They'll wear hearing aids or something, and they'll just talk to you, and then they'll read your lips. And then you have big D deaf, which is more like culturally deaf, and it's something that I identify now, despite not being fluent in ASL, but it's a work in progress. And it's just, there's a big like deaf culture in certain areas. Here in LA, I don't know how big it is, but it's bigger than I expected. In Washington, D.C., there's a university called Gallaudet, and it's like a huge like deaf culture. And it's like it's just a way for a group of us to like come together and not feel like we're so alone, And then you have hard of hearing, which is kind of like the middleman, which is hard of hearing is what I mostly identified as, because myself, I can hear a lot of things if it's loud enough, but it doesn't mean I'm necessarily going to understand you. So it's like if you were watching a movie or a TV show in a completely different language that you don't know, and it's kind of like, you hear what you're saying? I don't know what you're saying, And that's always been like the middleman, because it's like, to us it was like not hearing enough for the hearing world, but not deaf enough for deaf culture. It's just, it's a little bit, So, okay, well, wonderful, closed caption son. And why is it important to close caption? One, the deaf and hard of hearing, we went through all that. And we have people with auditory processing disorder, which is kind of like being hard of hearing. That's kind of like something that we haven't quite figured out yet. But it's like, if I recall correctly, you hear things kind of perfectly, but it doesn't really seem to process. And it's good for people who are learning English as any number of languages. Like if you want to read something, get your grammar right, it's perfect for that. And most importantly, so you don't wake people up at 3 in the morning when you're watching your favorite TV show. Yeah. That's how I survived middle school, when I was watching cartoons on Adult Swim at 1 o'clock in the morning on a school night. So, I want to say January or December, I'm not exactly sure. 1 second. I worked with a company called Glide, which is basically like a video app. It's like FaceTime from Apple, but you get to record videos for people. So if you don't have, somebody else doesn't have signal, or you don't have time, like if you're living on the other side of the world or something, then it's just like a nice little video thing, and it's a little bit faster to me than like the texting on iMessage and what have you. So they came, or Sarah from Glide, who was the woman on the right, I don't know if she's a creator, but she's like the main spokesperson of the app. She came to me and a bunch of other deaf people who are kind of like in the entertainment industry or involved with YouTube or whatever, and she wanted to make Glide more accessible to people who are deaf and hard of hearing that are, fluent in ASL. And so we have this video that will hopefully work with the Wi-Fi. And we're just...
Hey YouTube, we need to talk.
What's that? We don't need to talk right now, hold on. Hold on. Okay, so we're just gonna watch this real quick.
Hey YouTube, we need to talk. I've noticed that a lot of creators on YouTube don't include closed captions in their videos, which makes it not accessible for everyone, because here's the thing.
We don't hear you. We're visual communicators. We want to watch your next video, so please include closed captioning. YouTube has made it really easy for creators to add closed captioning to their videos. And if you do it, we'll definitely like, comment, share, and subscribe.
This can have a huge impact and change the way that creators connect with their audiences, but we need your help to make it happen. So if you love watching videos on YouTube, then please tag your favorite creator and reach out to them and ask them if they can upload their next video with closed captions. And if you're a creator yourself, please upload your next video with closed caption and use the hashtag VidCaptions.
Now I can't get the box to go on. Ah. Okay, somebody help me, please. Okay. Nope, that's not working. What? James, my friend. Oh, wait, there we go? Okay, there we go. Hold on a second. Now, how do you backspace on this? Oh, dear. Okay. So, as you may or may not know, I did email a bunch of YouTubers, like Grace and, all those big YouTubers, and, just, simply asking, can you close caption your videos? And not just saying that, but, I give them, like, information, links to videos, links to the support Google page, and I'll show you how you can do all that later. But one of the most popular things or responses that I get when I send emails is normally, I don't have time. And I get it, but to me, I'm also thinking, if you can have or help out all your subscribers and what have you, what could feel better than that, just being able to include everybody, because everybody on YouTube loves viewers and subscribers, and they want it, the more the better. But, so when they tell me that, I don't have time, there's a couple of things that you can do if you can't do it yourself, and I have two of the most popular ones. There are more out there, but we'll have to look for those later. There's one that, you can pay for your captions, which there's a lot of services out there that are either cheaper, or they're more expensive, or they can take longer, or they take faster. But the most popular one that I know of is Captions, and the first video that you have is about 10 minutes free. So on average, most YouTube videos are like 5 to 10 minutes, maybe no more than 15 minutes. And so if you submit that, then you pretty much got your entire video free. And then after your first video, you get $1 per minute. And if you're on average doing a 5 to 10 minute video like once a week or every 2 weeks, it's not really that big of a deal. I mean, it's, 2 cups of coffee at Starbucks. And then there's Amara, which is like a volunteer service kind of thing. I don't have a lot of experience with it. I think Paul does. Like, they've actually used it. He likes them. Okay. And basically with Amara, I see you, Ryan. I see you. And basically you sync up your YouTube account with Amara, and then Amara has like a team of volunteers or something, and I'll they'll caption your videos for you. I don't know exactly how long it takes, but if you don't have the time and somebody's gonna do it, I mean, I'm pretty sure Hank and John Graham does that, so it works for them, it'll work for other people. That's it. Also, every once in a while, I'll leave comments under people's videos, if they don't have like an email or something, or Twitter gets a little bit, too chaotic. So I will leave, little comments that say, can you please close caption your videos, da da da. And one of the most popular things that I get is, well, there's a little CC button. Does it show up here? Don't do that. Nope, that's not working. Well, anyway, if you go on, YouTube, you will see, like, on the bottom bar, sort of, where there's, like, play and pause and what have you. There's a little CC button. Sometimes it just depends. And people will tell me, well, there's that, little button right there. And 99% of the time, it's just automatic closed captions, or what a couple of people have called it, craptions, because they're crap. And, when somebody tells me that, it's like, I know they're just trying to help, and I say this in the most nicest way possible, but I'm the deaf one. I'm asking for, the closed captioning. I've lived my life doing this, so you'll think maybe there's, a possibility that I've already checked. Just like, but more often than not, the automatic captions are like really, really terrible. There are a few cases when there'll be like sentences or paragraphs where it's like pretty okay if a person has like very clear voice or no background music. Alright, but it's not better than anything. And we'll read through the examples, and I could just show you so much more, but then we'd be here all day. So I was looking at Grace Helbig. I mean, she's one of the most popular YouTubers, so obviously I gotta show her. But this was from the, I can't, how do we full screen this out? I'm not even gonna touch it. But this was from the What's in My Butt challenge? What's up my butt? Something like that. You know her, you know what I'm talking about. But this is from like the very first couple of seconds, and I don't exactly remember what she was saying at the time, but it says, well, I'm here and I remember me how I am today. And if you're watching this without like any sound whatsoever, you look at it and it's like, raise your hand if you know what the hell she would be trying to talk about. Yeah, we got people short. Okay. But you get my point. And then we have, I don't know what video this is from, but somebody on Twitter gave it to me, and just reading this out loud makes me want to hide. And it says, you have an amazing app idea, and I tried everything to get released to the public. You probably contacted developers who have cost you several $1,000s to make your app. Sorry. You have also tried to kill the app yourself, or some tutorials about. Yeah, I don't know. I wish I knew what that video was, because I don't know. And then we have Smosh, who I don't know a whole lot about, but I know they had a movie that premiered yesterday. Was it yesterday? Something like that. And they had 20 million subscribers, and that's probably more than Tyler Oakley. Who, if you don't know me very well, you probably saw me from Tyler Oakley's video. Thanks. And so it's like 20 million people, and like I said, there's almost 38 million deaf and hard of hearing people in the US alone, and they don't really caption. But I think there's about 2 clips that I took, and I don't remember what video this is from, but I think it's in doubt about a future together because the fans don't real ass. And I think like if I'm watching this video and the word fans is in there, and I'm like, that's not a good way to talk about your fans. Like, that's probably the one thing you got. You know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I remember there's a group called Caption Action 2, which is kind of like what I'm doing. They have a website that, they have a list of people who capture their videos, and then they have like a petition actually for Smosh to try to post caption their videos. I don't know how well that would work, but it's a nice thought. And I've tried messaging them on Facebook, Twitter, everything that you can think of, and no captions on there, but as you can see, it might be a little useful. And then, wait, is that all of them? Well, apparently that's all of them. But since we're talking about automatic captions, everybody got like a little card. If you don't have a card, you can like use your phone or something. But I made a really short video, it's only like 10 seconds long, but it's muted. There are no captions on it. I will be putting captions on it, assuming I can, not mess this up. But we're gonna try it. So I'm just gonna, is everybody ready? You all ready? Good? And, okay, we're good. All right. And I'll play it about like 3 times, so if you didn't see it, we'll get a better idea. Okay, so I can't walk around with this, but we'll just get a couple people up here, then I'm gonna read the cards out. So you're my new friend that I met yesterday, Spencer. You hug you. Huh? Oh. Well, write that down, and whoever's ready, just raise your hand if you're ready, and then I'll pick you. You're the first one I saw. You in the hat. Come on.
No.
Yeah, you gotta come over here so I can see it. Oh. Aha! Oh, I got you now. Take forever. Oh, you didn't have it written? Oh, well, whoever's got it written. Okay, thank you.
I got.
Funny enough, I don't even remember what this says, but this person has down jolly or problem narcissism. Okay. I understand how you feel. Okay. Hi YouTube. ... That's supposed to say Arden. Let's see. We got one more person. You. Emma. Thank you. Hi there. I just wanted to thank you for drinking. Hi, my favorite flavor is orange. Well, I do like orange. And then, hi guys, parentheses, yep, I'm lost, parentheses. I'll tell you what it actually says, if I can pull it up. 1 second, please. What I actually said was, hey, I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you that are in this room right now. Hopefully this little experiment will help you understand why closed captioning is so important. I think I've proved the point. But obviously, I'm actually going to keep these because I like them. Oh dear. Here we go again. Okay. So, there are a couple of ways with closed captioning. I know some people, let's see if I can actually pull it up. Hold on a second. Yeah, pardon. Okay, so obviously you come here and you have the little, things up top, and then you have the subtitles and closed captioning thing. And then on the right, it has add new subtitles or closed captioning with a little drop-down list. You click on that, click on whatever language, and then YouTube gives you like 3 options. You can 1, upload a file, 2, transcribe and set settings, or create new subtitles or closed captioning. And the one I'm going to show you is the first one, so I'm just going to quickly show you what's on the second 2. You have this one, which is you basically just type what you're saying in the box, and I Paul used to use that one. Yeah, he uses that one. Katie uses that one. And it's not bad, but it's also kind of like not my favorite. I tried it, and I don't know if it's just because I'm so used to what I usually do, but it's not terrible. So you can use that, and then there's the, set timing option. And then this one, which is the create new subtitles or closed captioning. If this had any sound to it whatsoever, it would already show you like the automatic captions. But basically you click the box and then you delete it and then you rewrite it one-on-one. I tried it myself. Wow, look at that face. I tried it myself, and I feel like it takes me just so much longer, and it's not enjoyable. I mean, writing captions isn't the most, fun party time in the world, but there's not fun, and then there's like complete torture. And I'm not really a fan of it. I had a couple of friends who tried it, and it took them, Ryan knows, it just took them forever, and I want you to be accessible, but I don't want you to also torture yourself. I'm not that mean. And so, going back to the slideshow, I have a video all about this, but basically what I like to do is, first of all, go on Google Docs, like the whole Google Drive thing, Google Slides, and you could use anything, Notepad or whatever, but the reason why I like Google Docs so much, pull it up real quick. Okay. Why didn't I just pull that up instead of my iPad? Oh well. So, sorry. Basically, if I type something, as you can see, it's automatically just saving. I touch it for 0.5 seconds and it saves. And the reason why I like it, that's why I like it so much. I know Nicholas Stanley Awake, if you know him, and somebody else, they tried doing it some other way. They accidentally hit backspace, they came back, and minutes of work was gone, and that's something that nobody wants, because then you have to do it all over again. So this is just the most efficient way, because if you accidentally hit backspace, your computer crashes, freezes, whatever, you come back, and hopefully everything is there, at least most of it. So it's just, trust me, go on Google Docs, it's going to save you a whole lot of time. So after I have everything written out, I will go to Notepad, and I don't think I have Notepad on this one. On MacBook, I don't know. But if you got a PC, at least you just go to the Notepad thing, and you paste it, and then you go to save it, and on the bottom right, it says something besides the save as thing, that's an encoding thing, and you click on the OTF-8, and since I can't show it to you right now, it's on my CC demo video, so when you got time, you can watch that. And the reason why you have to kind of set it to that settings is because if you don't and you upload it, the apostrophes turn into little question marks and it looks really weird. I made that mistake the first 2 times that I tried captioning my videos. So you do that. Once you got that saved, then you just go into this, and it has transcript, and I don't know what the subtitle file is, honestly, and then you have choose a file, you got your files here, you upload it, and then, I know how I can make this work. Once you get it uploaded and whatnot, it's going to take a little bit for YouTube to set the timings just a little bit, and most of the time they're pretty spot on, but you might have moments when, say, let's see, where are you? Why are you there? Why is that automatic there? Let's see, where are you? Okay. Well, I'll just, today is not my birthday, it was last week, but. Okay, so you see we have a little audio squiggly line things. You got the left side there and the right side on that little box. Most of the time YouTube is pretty spot on, so you don't have to take a lot of work by lining everything up, because obviously you want your audio lined up with your text. The only time that you really have to put a lot of work into all of that is if you have like a video where you talk, and then like a moment of silence break, like if you have a pause slide with text. And then sometimes your text will be like way far off to the left or way off to the right. But just, make sure that after you upload it, just check that, make sure everything's in line. And that's pretty much the easiest way to do it. I know people have thought that it's like the most complicated thing, but it really isn't. It takes a little bit of time. And yeah, you don't always want to spend so much time doing your videos, but for me, I want everybody as much as I can to be able to enjoy my videos because it's not fun, obviously. So the one thing is, how does closed captioning benefit creators? Because obviously some of them will probably say something like, well, why should I do it? What's in it for me if I do it for you? Obviously, you're going to get a crap ton more of people to watch your videos. Like, I've noticed that when I first started with YouTube for the first couple of years, I didn't have a whole lot of subscribers. And then when I sat down and I thought, well, obviously I want captions, so I should probably caption my own. And obviously, as a deaf person myself, it gets a little hard sometimes, and it takes a little bit longer. But if I can do it, the deaf person closed captioning their own videos, for the most part, sometimes I have to get him to do it for me. But it's like, if I can do it, you can do it. And you will get so many more viewers and subscribers, and obviously as a YouTuber, you want more recognition for your work. Also, if you do it the way that YouTube has it, not only would you have, deaf and hard of hearing people who speak your language to watch your videos, the English captions on YouTube can be translated. So if you have somebody that speaks Spanish or something, does anybody speak Spanish? Okay, so if your English is not working too well that day for whatever reason, then you can check the Spanish option. And one of the things, YouTube, I realized, just has, were you wanting to say something about?
Yeah, I was in a panel this morning about analytics, and one of the, sorry.
Hold on, where's my phone? She said you typed.
Should I wait? Okay. So, the panel this morning about analytics, one of the things that they said about including closed captioning is that it's extra metadata that helps with SEO. So not just YouTube search engine, but all search engines are going to be better able to find your content as well. So I think that's another benefit for creators.
Okay, hold on. Okay, good. Now just worry about analysis about the situation. Huh?
It'll be better for the search engine.
Okay, woo! That's good. And then I know, let's see, what was it? Oh, was that something? Butler, come back.
Oh.
And since we're on the topic of other benefits to creators, there's the benefit of closed captioning is not just to those who are hard of hearing, even people who can hear, those of us blessed with that, find ourselves in environments such as a noisy environment. I'm traveling in a train and I'm watching a video, or I'm standing in a gym and the TV is too far from me, or in a cafeteria. And there's so many times we end up watching videos.
Yeah, that's
with
another
closed
thing that I
captions.
probably should have said. Thank you, I like you people standing up. Like, obviously, like, if you've got a big family party going on, you want to watch, I don't know, what do you want to watch? I don't know. That great film picture, I don't know, just throwing something out there. But obviously, you can't hear it. Watch it. That kind of goes in with what I said, like, you couldn't watch Gilmore Girls when it's 3 in the morning and you got to school night. Nobody has to hear it, and then you can enjoy it. So yeah, I remember, I heard about this like a couple of months ago. YouTube just came out with something that lets really big YouTubers, they can set something and it lets people contribute. already on YouTube, so you don't have to like go to a different place. And the thing that I don't understand is it's only for a small select of really big YouTubers, and I'm thinking, why?
Hey, so my friend Nicole works with Crash Course and said that they have access to that function on Crash Course, and what they are discovering is that it doesn't work very well. It's still very much, makes lots of mistakes, and sometimes good captions get overwritten with bad captions.
Of course it doesn't work very well. They have automatic closed captioning, and look how that ended up. Oh, Lord.
Possibly also because
But
it's
if it would work. But I mean, in a perfect world, if it would work, it would be very helpful. But it's like, even if it didn't work very well, it's just like, why isn't it available to every single channel? It would save everybody so much time. Like, there's always somebody out there that wants to, like, I've had people ask me, so how can I contribute? Can I actually, like, do it for people? But, they don't know how, and I'm just thinking, well, if you have that, if only a few YouTubers had that, why are they not doing it? And in fact, I've told some bigger YouTubers who probably have that they have it, and they don't turn it on. But hopefully that will work better than what it's like, but it's been 4 or 5 years since automatic closed captioning, and again, yeah. But hopefully. So a lot of people have asked, on YouTube comments when I have a couple. What do you want, Katie? It's all important. We're here. I'm talking about closed captioning. Run to her. Give it to her. I said so.
Just another point about
Butler. I'm having fun with this. I was freaking out, and now I'm like.
Another point about the automatic captions is that it's not great with accents that aren't American.
Yeah, she's from New Zealand.
Yeah. So
Which, funny enough, I can understand you more than everybody who is like American native. I don't know how that works, but okay.
just a point I just thought of.
Like I said, this is one side of the one side of the, I can't talk today. So yeah, like people have asked me, what can I do? And there's a lot of things that you can do. Basically, the same thing that I'm doing, but obviously I'm one person. There's a bajillion, I'm exaggerating, people on YouTube, and it's hard to get to every single one of them. The more person getting to people, the better. And basically, the first thing is email them. Email is usually the easiest way because they always have like their business email. And sometimes they'll probably think of it as spam mail, but do it anyway. Just don't care about it. So, I did have I still have it somewhere, but I haven't linked it again. But I have an email that's basically like the email that I always send, and sometimes I update it when like I make a new video or what have you. But basically, you can just email them. You say hey, I have some deaf friends, or just whatever. Like they, you probably had deaf viewers. They want to know what you're saying exactly, and show them some video links. Send them to the Google support page. If you type Google Classroom transcript, something is there. So that's usually the number one option. There's a pretty good chance that we're gonna see it. The other thing is Twitter. That's, it's both good and bad. Some people will always see the tweets. Some people won't be able to see it because if they're so popular, it's going to get run down. But it's better than nothing. And then some creators prefer that you send them Facebook messages or comments. Do that. The other thing, which is, kind of like, but I've done it. You can send letters, whether it be handwritten or you type one and then mail it off. I actually did that last month with the whole featured creator list. Everybody that I could find that has a P.O. box, first I attempted 8 handwritten letters, but that hurts. And so, I don't know how many featured creators are, but there's a lot of them, so it hurt. And so, eventually after 8, I printed out and I sent them off. And I did get one postcard back from Brittany Louise Taylor, if that's her name. And she said thank you. I don't know what she's doing, but hopefully, it'll come up. in the future for closed captioning. And it's an option. And then the other one is YouTube comments. Some YouTubers read and reply to all of their comments, or try. And probably the easiest way is to make a YouTube video about it. I know Paul and Katie have made videos. Well, we collabed, so we collabed on that one. But obviously, sometimes doing a video gets more people to see it, and it's a lot faster. No, don't turn on, thank you. Not only do you want to make a video talking about closed captioning, but closed captioning. There's been a case or two of documentaries about deaf people that weren't closed captioned ever. Like recently, BuzzFeed, in LA here about a month ago, a deaf musical, Spring Awakening, happened, and BuzzFeed did a video about it, and they were like, look at what these deaf people can do, and they didn't caption it for the first 24 hours. Like, if you're gonna talk about us, can you make it accessible to us, please? Like, of all things that you would not caption, that, I don't know. But yeah, it's like, if you can do it, do it. Next time. And that's pretty much it. I don't know how long this presentation was, but hopefully this is good enough.